Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to discuss how to select the correct coin pairs so the next time the next altcoin heads to the moon, you aren't left sitting in the dust questioning, why wasn't I in that trade? Now, I've been this person in the past where I've been in a trade, I've done my technical analysis correctly, I'm in the profit. Let's say I trade Bitcoin and it goes up 1%. But then I look over at the Ethereum chart or some other altcoin and it went up 5 or 10%. Or in this case, where Dogecoin went up to 14 cents last night and it was only 7 cents a couple days ago. So what happened? Let's try to understand how the flow of investors happens in the crypto market. But before I get into those secrets, I want to ask, if you like this sort of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm trying to hit over 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month. If you like this sort of content, hit the thumbs up button. It'll boost the video in the algorithm. And at the end of the video, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll try my best to answer to the best of my knowledge. Without further ado, let's get right into this. So I have a checklist here, and this is the checklist that I follow for whether I'm trading a coin pair or I'm pulling funds out of a specific coin pair and I'm not trading on that chart any longer. So what we can see here is every single coin has a specific market cap, a percent of the total crypto space that it takes up. So that is an important number to understand. But even more importantly, what we're going to end up doing is performing technical analysis on higher time frames of those dominance charts. And by doing that, we're going to understand the rate of flow of assets into a specific of investments into a specific asset. So we can see here, if you're on the All tab, you can see that BTC.D pulls up the market cap BTC Dominance, and not every coin has this set up. So Dogecoin is more smaller market cap coin, so they don't have it set up. What we can do instead in those cases, if it's unavailable, check that coin with in comparison to BTC. So you'll pull up the Doge BTC pair. So here we can see the BTC dominance chart, and on the higher time frames, what we can clearly see is that money is flowing out of this asset relative to other altcoins. So money may still be coming in on net to Bitcoin. It might still be going up. However, we're seeing that relative to the total crypto space, we actually are seeing a decline. Now, I drew in a resistance line here from the very top. We were tangoing with it for a little bit, then we rejected off it. And this is how we declare alt season, when we fall below this 60 line on the BTC dominance chart. And we're approaching all-time lows here. I think we're at like a we're matching the 2-year, 3-year low of BTC dominance. Now, the interesting thing is that you may not know about is this trend line here. You can actually send an alert for when wolfpack crosses over it, so you can know when it's time to start putting money back into Bitcoin and start pulling your funds out of altcoins, because you might not get the alert on the news that altcoin season is over, but if you're following this method, you're going to be alerted. So just right click on the line, add alert on the trend line. We might come up to it and reject off of it one more time, and we might cross over. So it's important to keep an eye on this chart specifically. So right click the line, select add alert on the trend line, and you're going to get this box that comes up for creating an alert, and you're going to see it actually has the trend line right here. So when Wolfpack Pro crosses over the trend line, it's going to only ping us once. We don't need a recurring notification on this one. You can set it up to say send you an email or an alert on the app if you're using that. And the last thing we want to make sure is that we're choosing the correct wave. So on my indicator, on the updated version, it's the Wolfpack wave. If you're using the old version, I can't remember the exact name that it was, but I've updated it so it's all organized now. If you're unsure, you can go into your Wolfpack Pro settings, just click the gear icon, go into the Style tab, and just verify that the colors of the main wave match the title of the wave. So the Wolfpack wave is this one. These are all the colors on the main wave. So we've got the correct notification to set up here. So you can click create, and there you have it. You can do this for any coin pair that you like, any altcoin. And you can see on the higher time frames, specifically, that's when a lot of the large investors are looking at assets. You want to be getting in when there is positive signals on the larger time frames. If you're more of a scalper, you could potentially go down to the smaller time frames. So we can go to maybe the Dogecoin chart here. So Doge BTC, and here we can see that Dogecoin, with respect to how well it's performing comparison to Bitcoin, it's approaching the all-time high once again. And you could have just set an alert here. Here's your resistance, and we crossed above it here at the beginning of April. So anywhere in here was an excellent time to start looking for buy-ins, and just you had around 2 weeks. That's plenty enough time to get in before we went to the moon. I believe Elon even tweeted we're going to the moon soon, so you had like 3 or 4 or 5 chances to get in here. So on the smaller time frames as well, the 4 hour, I drew in some of these resistances. So just ignore the yellow strip that sometimes forms on waves. It fills gaps in data. It also comes up on new bars, but I just treat it as the same color as the one before it. So here's your resistance. You could send an alert here. You would have had this crossover, and you would have had at least 4 or 8 hours to get into a trade here. And then there was another pullback. You could have said this, and you would have gotten a notification about this massive explosion with how popular Dogecoin was with respect to Bitcoin. And I'll just do one or two more examples here just to drill in the point. So we can go to the Ethereum dominance chart. Ethereum's been doing very, very well lately. Here's the 1 hour chart. You can go higher time frame if you're looking for more long-term plays. It's also good to make note if we're crossing over the long-term resistance to know if we should keep staying in on the larger time frames. As just an example here, I'll remove my drawings. I'll just do 1 or 2 more examples to drill in the point. Here's the Ethereum dominance chart, and we're on the 1 hour chart. You can go higher if you like, if you're more of a long-term play kind of trader. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing. I'm looking for resistance, and then after that I'm looking for support. So I would draw on this line here, and right at that golden cross I would be looking for entries on to Ethereum. So we can see that this momentum is likely to pick up very, very shortly. So on the lower time frames, I'm looking to catch the wicks of the larger time frame candles by entering on the lower time frames. So around this time, April 12th at around 10 p.m., we had the crossover, so we could start looking for plays shortly after that. Now let's go see what the Ethereum USD chart was signifying at that point. But before I do that, I'm just going to draw in some resistances here. There's some supports. This is a support here. Let's also see one more here. So if we fall below this support, we might expect it to bounce maybe one more time, maybe it'll come below, maybe it'll bounce off this support. And if it really starts falling below this support, we can set an alert for the cross down, and we'll start looking at pulling our profits out of Ethereum. And it's really, really that simple. So Ethereum, we had the crossover of the resistance at the 12th of April at, it was around 10 p.m. So the 12th of April at around 10 p.m. was around here. So we would have been looking to get an entry on the smaller time frames. We're starting to see on price action higher lows coming in. So we definitely know that something is up here in terms of investors coming in to the market. But now we have an understanding of the flow of investors coming into Ethereum versus leaving Ethereum with respect to other assets. And that is the most powerful perspective that we could have to understand why a certain coin may be going to the moon. Now, if you liked this video, leave a thumbs up and comment down below if you have any questions. And if you're not a subscriber yet, you can still be one of the OG subscribers if you like this kind of content. And I've linked all of my links down below, my Patreon, my Discord. Be sure to check those out. I have some amazing perks on my Patreon. I'm building a comprehensive signal list, and I'm getting a lot of interest on it. So if you have any questions about how that all works, come to my Discord and feel free to ask any questions. And I hope to have it fully live by the end of the week, just working out some of the last barriers, and it is going to be on fire. So that about wraps up this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.